from pre-K3 through 3rd grade, so kids can read to learn from 4th grade on. Our teachers and parents can't do it alone, so we're inviting you to get a kick out of reading. Our aim is to provide new hardcover and digital books for each class. With your help, we'll place books into the hands of every Guardian student from kindergarten through 3rd grade. Please give today. Visit GuardianCatholic.com and click on Get a Kick Out of Reading. That's GuardianCatholic.com. Click on Get a Kick Out of Reading. Reading well at an early age is a must. Help kids get a kick out of reading. Please give today. Visit GuardianCatholic.com and click on Get a Kick Out of Reading. Please give today. Visit GuardianCatholic.com and click on Get a Kick Out of Reading. That's GuardianCatholic.com. Click on Get a Kick Out of Reading. Guardian Catholic School. Faithful protectors of potential.
Is getting the flu and COVID-19 vaccine on your to-do list? If you're an older adult or a person with a disability, you're most at risk of getting seriously ill. ElderSource is encouraging you to get vaccinated and making it easy. Visit yougottthis.usaging.org or call 888-242-4464. You've got this because we've got you. Funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Once again, the NFL running back market reset by Christian McCaffrey. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, he signed a 2-year extension with the 49ers, averaging $19 million per year. Receiver Brandon Ayuk seeking a contract extension, absent from the start of mandatory minicamp today. Receiver CeeDee Lamb also wants an extension, a no-show for the start of Cowboys minicamp today. ESPN's Adam Schefter.
To me, Dallas has been a little slow here. And look, the market is set for CeeDee Lamb. I think all of us can come up with our own ideas and hammer out a deal in a matter of minutes. But when it comes to the team and the player, it's a little bit more delicate, a little bit more sensitive. They'll get to the same spot that we would have gotten to anyway, but it just takes a much longer dance to get there.
Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike. The receiver market set by Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson's 4-year, $140 million extension. Major League Baseball has banned Padres infielder Tucupita Marcano from the sport for life for betting on baseball during various points in 2022 and 2023 while he was with the Pirates organization.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Kennedy, coming up Wednesday as minicamps continue. I'll give you my biggest storylines that I'm paying attention to. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
Ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Me, just picking the potato chips out of my teeth. Welcome to the Aaron Schachter Show. Another day in the Palatial Cox Media Group broadcast studios. Made a huge error in judgment as we started the show just now. I don't know if you know this about me, I don't really eat a traditional lunch. But around the time, about 30 minutes to an hour before the show, I'll head to the break room. I'll hit up the Vendy. I'll get a bottle of water, a Red Bull, Salt and Vinny chips, and M&M cookies.
$11 later. Jeez, the movie theater out here, okay?
$4, but that's okay. $4 lunch. Less than 600 calories. As far as I'm concerned, I'm eating healthy, Brian.
Keto even.
It's protein, I think. Red Bull's got a lot of protein in it or something. The point I'm making is I went late to the break room. Me and you were chatting. I was doing some work here. And then I come back and the show's starting, so I shove a chip in my mouth.
Yeah, you do.
One chip. One salt and vinegar chip. You know how hard it is not to just reach back into this bag right here?
Oh, that bag right there?
And take some more chips out of it.
Uh-huh.
And then just a little one.
Now, this is what I don't understand. Maybe I do, because
I'm hungry, man.
Your name is on the marquee. But every Friday that we're here, which is a toss-up sometimes, every Friday that we're here live, when the news queen comes in here and has, like, the big league chew-size gum
really
because
does.
you can hear it.
What? How come you guys gaslight me when she does that?
Because and then you hop on her. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I get on her case for it.
Rightfully so.
She's a professional.
She fronts like, no, you can't tell. And I'm like, yeah, like you do. Half your face does look like a chipmunk right now.
Also, I wouldn't know if I couldn't hear it because I can't even see her face. Just saying.
Oh, you guys are like right there.
She's like, I got a camera. I got a screen in front of me.
You can look around it. But here you go, opening up bags, ruffling the fake aluminum, whatever that is on the inside.
I didn't open the bag. It was already open because I had taken a chip. Just saying.
And then you're taking bites of this salt and vinegar. There you go, just like that. It sounds like it should be on the commercial, to be real with you. That's like the perfect bite right there.
Oh, my God.
Is that kettle
so
chips?
It's so
that
good.
kettle cooked chips?
This is Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar.
Yeah, they cook that in the kettle, man. Vicky,
so
she's
good.
a kettle cooker.
I don't know Vicky, but she's got it going on. Mm-hmm. So here's the problem. These are delicious. Mm-hmm. Now I'm supposed to stare at an open bag of chips while I talk to you for the next 20?
Well, it's the Aaron Schachter show. So
let's go to commercial break.
I say, don't tease me with a good time. You made me pull up this.
Don't you dare pull up some bump music.
I mean, you just said let's go, right?
Well, I got new bump music for today. I'm trying to get you pumped up.
Oh, you do? Okay.
You can pull this nonsense down. Make sure my hotkeys are up for your bump music.
Here we go.
Here's your bump music.
Here you go. This Bach?
This is Vivaldi.
Okay.
One of the artists that gets you pumped up from the Baroque era.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, actually. I'll be honest with you. I was going to clown you. I was listening to some Baroque music.
Hey, man.
I was like, this ain't that bad.
When they get that harpsichord in there, though, let me tell you something, man. The real G's back in the day used the harpsichord. That was like their trap music, foundation right there.
Right.
Not playing with me out here. You think I'm playing?
With a harpsichord.
Sit down for these 2.5 hours. Listen to my composition.
Okay. Why not? I don't know who else calls it a composition. But
whatever. I was saying composer, and I was like, no, that's not it.
No, that was the problem you had yesterday.
Yeah, well, now that I know composer, I'm like, what is it? My song? My work?
It's
my
Vivaldi's bars. Is really what it is.
Concerto.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, that sounds right now. You're not going to okay me on that. That actually sounds right.
You worked it out, huh?
I don't know if it's right, though.
Well, welcome to the Aaron Schachter Show, Brian.
Oh, so, Aaron, what I was trying to tell you 10 seconds like I normally do before the show actually starts when Matt Ray is saying, Schachter.
Yeah, you did.
And I started a whole new conversation.
A topic for me that I couldn't hear you on. You were like, let's take it to the radio.
Your boys up in national, up in New York, they're not at Bristol. I think they're up in New York.
I do think they're in New York at the flagship.
And what's his, Carlin? And who?
It's Joe Carlin and Joe Fortenbaugh.
Yeah, okay. Let me tell you what this
show that's on right before us.
Yeah. Your coworkers, email them or something. Let me tell you this, man. So they're talking about the WNBA. They're talking about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
They're talking about they're talking about the shove, the elbow.
It's a big story that we're not covering. Yeah.
No, and we won't cover.
Oh, no?
Well, I don't know. It's the Aaron Schachter Show, so cover it, please.
I've got 3 segs in the 4 o'clock on Caitlin Clark.
Well, hey, man, listen, let's talk about it. But as I'm walking out, because I'm finishing with the Young and Norvell show, and I have to go down the hallway to start talking about traffic in Jacksonville, okay? Got to start doing that. It's like, boom, boom. You don't get a breather at all.
I mean, you're a star, man.
But on the way out, because I got to make sure we're timed in perfectly to get to their show.
That's what you do.
I'm hearing the beginning of the show, and the guy, I don't know which one it is. I should be able to tell them apart. Can't tell them apart.
Wow.
One frustrates me. One, I don't really feel either way. I'm indifferent towards.
They don't even sound alike.
Fortenbaugh frustrates me, right?
Fortenbaugh is the gambler.
Yeah, okay. One of them say, hey, listen, for all the people, I'm paraphrasing, that said that it was a cheap shot, that, why would you do that? You can't tell people how to compete. And I turned around. There's nobody else in the room. Terry has left. I've turned everything off, and I have to look at the board because I'm like, literally there are rules telling you how to compete in every sport.
Yeah.
Every sport.
Everyone's got a rule book.
There's whistles. There are people in zebra-style shirts telling you how to compete.
Stopping you from playing if you don't do it correctly.
How certain people get to certain levels in this industry, I will never understand.
I think you're taking what he said a little too
literally. No, because you see how strongly I'm saying it? This is how strongly he was saying it. And he didn't give any context. He moved on to the next point. It literally, there's every sport, even the UFC, MMA.
They do have rules, yes.
Bloody, split, people missing teeth.
True.
Even in NHL, they let you fight. I tell you what,
with
though.
Sticks.
They tell you how much you can fight, huh?
That's true. That's
Then
accurate.
they break you up. That's the dumbest thing I heard.
Sometimes they break you
all
up.
year, 2024, Aaron. And we've said some dumb things back to each other.
Oh, man, we have.
I've been around some dumb people so far this year.
Are you talking about me? Is that a shot at me?
Well, if I've been around you, it's a possibility. But I'm not saying it is you.
It's
I'm
a shot
just
at
saying.
Calvin. Is it a shot at Calvin?
It might be.
Okay.
I'm learning from William. I'm learning from 16. Anyway, I got that off my chest now. So email your boys, Zoom them. I don't know, you guys. IG, Snapchat them, or whatever you do.
We do have like a special FaceTime app.
Group chat, whatever you do. Please tell him. Literally go to the rule book for every sport, and they tell you how to compete.
This is something you feel very passionately about.
Well, listen, all those thoughts rush into my head every time I hear somebody who is clearly making a lot more than me and clearly at higher levels than me and who have probably paid their dues.
Now
I'm not knocking them.
Now it sounds like you're a little bitter.
Well, it's not bitter. It's like, it's not about having takes that aren't just hot. It's not about just takes that make sense. You just got to be able to play the game, whatever that game is for the industry that you're in, and good on him for that. I think that's a crazy statement.
Sometimes people have hot takes. Sometimes those hot takes are for real from those people, like they believe these things. I'll give you a good example. C.J. Stroud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Young quarterback. He's a professional football player, so you'd assume he knows what he's talking about when it comes to professional football players. But they had asked C.J. Stroud, who are your top 5 current QBs? Here's his list. Pat Mahomes, still with him? Okay. Lamar Jackson, still there? C.J. Stroud, number 3. Josh Allen, number 4. Dak Prescott, number 5. That is the end of the top 5.
He young, though, man. He young. He 21. He like 19. So, that Dak Prescott thing.
That's the problem? That's the beef you've got?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow doesn't exist in this league anymore?
I mean, show me the MVPs, man. So but my problem's with Dak. So, put Joe Burrow in there. I got no problem with that.
You're putting Joe Burrow at 5?
I'm putting him in those 5, that's for sure.
This is wild talk.
How many are you taking off of that list right now? I know you're taking Dak off. I know you're taking Dak off, Aaron.
I don't know who I'm taking off, but I'll tell you who's not on there that I think belongs in the conversation for top 5.
Okay.
More than fine. Aaron
Fortenbaugh, everybody.
Fine.
Okay.
I will take C.J. Stroud off. I will take Josh Allen off. And I will take Dak Prescott off.
Okay.
I will replace them with Joe Burrow.
There you go.
With Jalen Hurts. And with Justin Herbert.
Okay.
But
Aaron Fortenbaugh, everybody.
I wouldn't have C.J. Stroud
near a top 5 list, it
in
sounds
my
like.
top 10. I would, before C.J. Stroud, I'm going Mahomes. I'm going Brock Purdy before C.J. Stroud. Josh Allen
that sounds
before
insane.
C.J. Stroud.
You telling me life on the line, and they're like, hey, guess what? Not the weapons around them, just the player. You get Brock Purdy or you get C.J. Stroud.
You can't.
And you telling me Brock Purdy? Yes, you can.
Can't do it.
Yes, you can.
You can't
Literally
separate.
Can.
You cannot separate the players from the player if he's never played without him before.
No, yes, I can, Aaron. Because if I gave you Brock Purdy,
yep,
and I gave you Patrick Mahomes, and I said, hey, listen, he doesn't got Travis Kelce. When Tyreek Hill was there, you don't get Tyreek Hill. You don't get Andy Reid as the coach. You just get the quarterback.
I'll tell you why. Look, I'm not trying to be intellectually disingenuous here. I hear what you're saying, and I go, yeah, I get the point you're making. But all you hear from Brock Purdy isn't Debo, isn't Ayuk, isn't Christian McCaffrey. All you hear of Brock Purdy is Shanahan system. And so if you put him in Kansas City with Reid, I think he still does work.
Well, I disagree that you don't hear those other players there, but okay, either way, who's going to make the Okay, here we go. This went totally left, but I love this.
That's fine.
If I got Patrick Mahomes on San Francisco, is San Francisco winning the Super Bowl with everybody else on there?
Yes. But Kansas City won the Super Bowl, so who's to say it's not Mahomes?
If I'm giving, so you don't think that C.J. Stroud would have been able to pull it out with the weapons that Brock Purdy had in San Francisco?
I don't know. I don't necessarily believe C.J. Stroud could pull it out like he did just last season.
Oh, yeah, show us again. I get that. But based off of what we have seen, this is what I hope for you.
You literally have a sample size of like 9 or 10 good games from the guy. Granted, rookie season, so it's impressive. Broke all kinds of rookie records. Balled out in a few of those games to the degree where you're like, he might look like the best quarterback in football. I'm just telling you, we can't say that's who he is. And I'm definitely not willing to put him above Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert. Jordan Love is even on the border with a C.J. Stroud at this point. Aaron Rodgers belongs. Even 40-year-old Achilles-ripped Aaron Rodgers belongs above C.J. Stroud. Although Tua might belong above C.J. Stroud. Tua's about to get $55 million. Almost won the MVP last year, Brian.
We good over here on Tua and Brock Purdy in comparison to C.J. Stroud. All them in another tier together, and maybe if you want to order that tier over there, that's fine. But I wouldn't put
Kirk Cousins
over like C.J. Stroud? Yeah, sure.
Me too. Trevor Lawrence above C.J. Stroud.
Hey, come on, man. Stop playing with 16.
I'm there.
I don't know why he went on the top 5, to be real with you.
I'm there. Matt Stafford above C.J. Stroud. I'm there. Matt Stafford's a magician.
This is what I ain't say you a magician.
Deshaun Watson.
He went to the Rams. The Rams were loaded. Like, he ain't a magician now.
Now we're in the conversation.
He couldn't do nothing up there in Detroit, and then Jared Goff
nonsense. Matt
Jared
Stafford's
Goff
a Hall
goes
of
up
Famer.
and then about there got him up. Okay,
Matt Stafford is a Hall of Famer. Stop the nonsense.
Whoa, but no, Eric. Okay.
Not a Hall of Famer?
I'm not saying not a Hall of Famer. I'm saying the track record says he went to Detroit and couldn't get it done. Then you say he's a magician. No, he went to the Rams.
Extremely well
but
in
they
Detroit.
said bump them picks, and they loaded up the offensive line. I mean, they loaded up the offense.
He
and they went and go. He's
extremely well in Detroit for teams that had no offensive lines. He had Megatron, and that was all she wrote for Matt Stafford in Detroit. That was it. He never had the second wide receiver. He didn't have the tight end. He didn't have the running back. The defenses were nonsense. Matt Stafford's a magician. Certainly,
a magician?
Certainly still, at 57 years old, however old he is now, belongs above C.J. Stroud on that list.
It does feel like he's pushing 50, man. I feel like he played at UGA in 1983.
Deshaun Watson, current Deshaun Watson in the conversation for a C.J. Stroud level. Like, because we don't know what Deshaun is the only reason. C.J. played better than him last year, obviously.
I don't know.
So we don't know if Deshaun is washed up or not. The dude's still like 26.
Yeah, and at his height, yeah, of course, I would give it to Deshaun, but we don't know if he's there.
We just don't know what he is. So fine. Geno Smith below C.J. Stroud. Russ below C.J. Stroud. Like Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray in the conversation. Kyler Murray with more than one receiver, probably in the conversation on the same level of what C.J. Stroud, of what you can expect from that guy. Will Levis, no. Caleb, no. Richardson, no. McCarthy, no. Once you get to this level, fine. C.J. Stroud above all those guys.
Yeah, okay,
but
that's
I went
fine.
like 12 deep where I'm like, C.J. Stroud does not belong above these guys.
Well, okay, that's fine, and none of those guys would make the top 5. I don't like the way the certainty came out of your mouth with Brock Purdy over C.J. Stroud. When we saw the sample size, when he lost Christian McCaffrey and then Debo was out, and you messed around, hey, we need you to get us through this. And it was a rough patch.
You've said this a few times, but
and it didn't look good.
It was Trent Williams.
Bad.
It looked bad without Trent Williams. Once Williams was back on the field, everything was okay.
No, not at all. I don't even want – okay, we'll wait till we get into the break. We got to pull this up because I don't think that it was okay. I think it was okay once all the offensive weapons started getting back healthy.
2 seasons, 2 NFC title games. He's putting up MVP numbers last year.
Listen, this is the same, you said system. This is the same system where your boy Jimmy G, the former Raider great, got him just as far.
Former Raider and Patriot great.
Yeah, he should have stuck with New England.
Legendary Patriot.
Yeah, he should have.
I'm not saying Purdy is or is not a system guy. That's still up for debate. Fine. But you could make the case there are lots of guys who are system guys who we don't necessarily call system guys. It's fine. If you're great, you're great. Yeah. If you found the right system to make it work, kudos to you. Great.
it's fine if you're a system guy. The certainty with what you said, hey, life on the line, huh? The bomb is counting down, and I'm tied to a seat.
Stroud number 3.
Well, no, I agree. Yeah, taking him off the list. First
they
and
need
foremost,
to be checking him for ayahuasca or something.
The Dak Prescott thing, I was like, oh, clearly this is a regular season award then. 1 through 5. We're not talking about overall just quarterback greatness.
I don't think anyone's considering any playoffs or Super Bowl or regular season. It's just the question was top 5 current QBs.
Well, you spent all your time shooting at C.J. Stroud, and granted, it was his list, so that's fine. And you got to hold Dak Prescott there that's giving you the sample size that he can't get it done at Dallas. At Dallas. I don't know. Maybe he'll get it done, with whatever team pays him $60 million plus. But at Dallas,
you blame Dak for the loss last year in the playoffs?
I blame Dak for everything.
Literally
that
everything.
happens with Dallas after Jerry Jones and just in front of Mike McCarthy. I think that's a fair list. The owner, the quarterback, the coach.
Okay.
You won't get the praise. You're getting the praise now from Aaron Schachter. You don't do nothing. You stopped throwing to everybody but me and Aaron Schachter this past season. Holy smokes. Can I get some more of a Valdi as I bump music? We're at 19.
Yeah,
I can play it.
Okay.
I
got it at the ready is all.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. This is what's going to pump you up, Brian. I'm going to play it every day.
Good stuff.
Every day I'll find a new Baroque tune for you to rock. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. A little bit of flavor from the 1650s. There's a hype track called Storm from Vivaldi. We'll be back on the Aaron Schachter Show talking about Doug Pederson and his press conference from the other day. Did we learn anything from it? Spoiler alert, probably not. 904-362-9901. It's the Aaron Schachter Show.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny today. An isolated brief shower will be possible, but again, mostly dry. A high in the upper 80s, a little bit cooler at the beaches. Partly cloudy tonight, dropping to near 70, and partly sunny for tomorrow. There is a little better chance for at least a few afternoon thunderstorms to develop. Not everywhere, but at least some rain. A high near 90 degrees. And Thursday, partly sunny, an isolated afternoon storm, and heating up to near 95. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. 0% financing for 5 years is back for a limited time at Beards Diamonds.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Can you fly, Snyderman?
I wish.
Do you have super strength?
Above average for my age.
X-ray vision?
Nah.
Then what makes you a superhero?
Our AC is out.
Duty calls, kids.
Snyderman saves the day with affordable preventative care plans that keep systems operating at peak efficiency all year long. Get your preferred customer plan at SnyderAC.com today.
You're my hero, Snyderman. CAC 1813307.
Spring has sprung, and tax return season is here. Now's the time to beautify your home by replacing your old windows with new energy-efficient, easy-to-clean windows from American Window Products. Keep the summer heat out with special glass packages, including low E3 and argon gas. American Window Products only uses the highest quality products and professionally trained employees to install. Call now to find out why they were voted the #1 window company in Jacksonville. 731-2247 for a free estimate, or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust, buy a water filter, and don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone Water Systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single-source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. Or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS.
Hey guys, we're the Twin Peaks Girls. Come have lunch with us every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and listen to the Young and Norvell Show on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. Accidentally landed on a C.J. Stroud top 5 quarterback list, and it threw us into a complete spiral. Before we move on from it, Brian, curious, are you basing your conversation on metrics at all, or is it like a see and feel thing?
Yeah, metrics.
Metrics matter.
Metrics.
Name a couple of metrics that matter to you. Let's look at who led the league in those metrics, because I guarantee you C.J. Stroud's at the top of none of them.
Playoff wins. Conference championship appearances, right? Do you like that one with Brock Purdy?
These aren't necessarily metrics.
Oh,
as
yes, they are. Yeah,
game
they're
results.
No.
When I say metrics, I'm asking you.
And then length of time in the league, like opportunity to do it. So what's
you
that
want to
ratio?
divide by
so what's
length
that
of
ratio?
time. Yeah. You want to divide.
Those are the big ones right there.
This is really advanced math.
I didn't, championship appearances. Because I understand you can't always win championships when you have Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Like, I get that. So, listen, are you even, giving your team real chances?
It's a tough metric. There's only one person who gets any credit for it.
Well, you know what? There's enough people who got at least, one of them, an appearance to get there. So, hey, man, it's all good.
Well, some people use yards.
But if in the regular seasons, yeah, you're right.
I don't think yards tells the whole story.
Yards is huge.
But people sometimes talk about yards. Yeah. CJ was 8th, not 3rd.
Yeah.
Some people use touchdowns thrown, not touchdowns total. And fine, I don't think it tells the whole story. But if you want to use touchdowns, CJ's 13th.
Okay.
Some people use interceptions, which I think is an interesting metric because I do think it tells a large part of the story, which is essentially how well do you protect the football. I don't think it makes you into the best quarterback or not. No. To his credit, amongst starting quarterbacks, not guys who got the starting job during the season because of injury or something, out of all the guys who started off the year as starters, C.J. Stroud led with only 5. So great job protecting the football. Broke all kinds of rookie records for not having an interception. Congratulations, buddy. Way to go. First downs matter a lot. You got a quarterback that's constantly hitting first downs for you. The ball's moving, the team's moving. Guys like Goff, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, they're at the top of that list. C.J. Stroud once again at 8th. Yards per attempt might be big for C.J. He's got a couple of burners on that team. Just added another one in Stephon Diggs. He was 3rd. Yards per catch, he was 2nd. You know who's first? That bum, Brock Purdy. Brock had a great season. What a bum with 13.9 yards per catch.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
C.J. Stroud had the most passing yards per game last year.
Let's camp with Brock Purdy again. Okay. Who is he throwing to?
George Kittle.
His 8th choice, his 8th guy in the progression is Brandon Ayuk.
Use check.
Yeah, I hope you're leading in something. I hope you're leading in something. You hear what I'm saying?
I do.
With George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey out the back. I hope that you're leading in something. Anything.
Well,
yards per catch.
What about QBR? You into QBR?
Hey, man, I'm sure.
Out of all the starters, C.J. Stroud ranked 16th.
Good for him.
Out of all the Pro Bowlers, he was 2nd to last, only to Baker Mayfield.
That's company you want to keep.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Rookie quarterbacks love to spend time on their back on the field. They love to be tackling dummies, usually on teams that don't block up front. Was not the case for C.J. Stroud. Had a couple of Pro Bowlers on the offensive line. That being said, still took the 8th most sacks in the league.
With each of these metrics that you're given, even the good ones, the problem with it is this. The context. The same way that you were about to not shut down, but be like, you know what, you can try to use championships or appearances like that, but there's more that goes into it. It's the same thing with all of these. We talk about
You're not wrong.
yards. Well, hey, does your team kind of suck sometimes? Are you in a shootout more times than not because your defense isn't great? Do you have some garbage games where you're just trying to get back into the game? It's a lot. My guy who's not going to be the quarterback for the Commanders now, and I can't think of his name. Sam Howell has some outstanding numbers for most of the season in some of those actual areas, as far as especially yards.
Well, I remember sacks. His numbers were outstanding.
Was like 900.
He
had
ended the
sacks.
season taking 65 sacks. Yes,
but he had a bunch of yards out there, and that's because his team overall wasn't pretty great.
He didn't have 4,000 yards throwing.
Yeah, but I'm saying as he was going through out the season, I remember we were checking
a couple of games where he was like, "Oh wow, that's a good game."
So I just think that the context for each one of these metrics as well is something that you can dive deep in. But as a whole, that's fine.
He put up 388 against Chicago, 397 against Philly, a couple of 300 games. He had a couple of decent games during the season, 4 or 5 of them, but the season overall wasn't great for him.
Yeah, at all. It was great for his chiropractor, whoever's billing his insurance. But my overall point is this. My initial thought was not to have Dak in the top 5. It wasn't that I was keeping C.J. Stroud in. I was just asking you because you're like, you know what? I'm not taking anybody off. I'm just going to tell you who should be on. And so I was like, all right, well, tell me. But, yeah, C.J. Stroud, I don't know if I would have him I don't think I would have him as a top 5 quarterback currently either. So I'm not standing in the gap for C.J. Stroud to be a top 5. I had to sit down and really think about it, though.
So it's a discussion.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
But top
10 discussion. Yeah. I'm okay with the discussion because it means really what you're saying is somewhere between 8 and 13 lives C.J. Stroud. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I don't think he belongs in the top 10, but I'll listen to it. He had a standout, amazing season as a rookie. And so you'd think he just takes the step forward. We don't always necessarily see it as cleanly as that.
I hope he doesn't, but yeah. I hope that he backtracks. I hope it's an epic fallout. I hope it's like a Ryan Leaf type deal. I hope that it falls off the face of the earth. The curse of the Houston Texans quarterback. I hope the Deshaun Watson curse finds him.
Yeah.
I wish that for that young man.
This doesn't sound good. You're wishing some pretty awful things on the guy.
I need some AFC South championships here in Jacksonville. I need some more of them, all right?
Well, then
everybody's getting good.
Maybe you have some interest in what Doug had to say about his team then. Because he was out at OTAs the other day giving a press conference, and they were asking him all the standard questions you've come to know and love from the Jacksonville media as it pertains to OTAs and Doug. And here we go with some of these answers. So it was interesting as the press conference started, they were in a conversation about quarterbacks, and Doug had made the comment that Trevor's continuing to evolve into this vocal leader, which I think we saw a bunch of last year A little bit the year before, but more so last year, and I'm pretty confident we'll see a lot more of it this year, but so is Doug. But then the media asked the question, and I'm not sure what the purpose was outside of just having a curiosity. But the question was asked, Doug, have you ever been on a team with a great quarterback who wasn't a vocal leader? And the guy gives him the answer. He claims wasn't a vocal leader, but, and granted, Doug was his teammate, so he knows better than me or anybody else in the conversation. But when I think of this guy, I definitely don't think non-vocal leader. You tell me.
All the great ones and all the good quarterbacks in that boat, I guess. You know, they're good leaders in the locker room, off the field. You know, with the coaching staff. You know, and look, it's not about necessarily being all vocal. I mean, I played with, you know, one of the greatest, you know, in Brett, and he wasn't a vocal guy, but he just led by example and, you know, spoke up when he had to, you know, and you know, Trevor's very similar that way. You know, he speaks when he has to, but just things we've seen this offseason have been very positive that way, and we just got to continue to grow in that direction.
Brett Favre. When you think of Brett Favre, I kind of think of a guy who's in everybody's face. I don't think of some quiet, reserved guy. Maybe it's a little before your time, or maybe it's been so long that we kind of forget, but I'm not quite sure what Doug is getting at there. I remember seeing Brett in everybody's face in every game.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, shout out to Brett, who still owes Mississippi a ton of money.
He did steal from all them people.
He got, well, allegedly, Brian. You don't want to get called as a witness in that case. He hasn't been found guilty yet. He was accused of receiving $1.1 million in funds dedicated to welfare recipients as a payment for speaking engagements that he allegedly never made. Just straightening that one out. So maybe he should have been more vocal at the podium, and then he would have earned the money he's accused of
stealing.
Allegedly stealing. Yeah.
So you just telling me that he stole that money. Oh, wow, man. What's the next clip?
We heard from Trevor yesterday about whether last year's collapse serves as a chip on his shoulder. Well, the question was asked to Doug, not if last year's collapse is a chip on Doug's shoulder, which is a question I would have expected to be asked to Doug. But the question was asked to Doug, is the collapse a chip on Trevor's shoulder? If I'm Doug, I'm like, I don't know, ask him. What do you want from me? But Doug had an answer.
I think it's fuel, motivation for him, you know, to compete this year, to stay healthy this year, to lead better this year, you know.
Fuel and motivation to stay healthy, I don't quite understand. I mean, isn't everybody fueled up to 100% to stay healthy every year?
Let me tell you what I want to do.
Does anyone really go into the season going, you know, I'm about 80% on staying healthy this year?
I mean, about 4 games off. Get that knee. I think he's just talking to talk at that point, but listen closely. That's not the only thing he said.
To lead better this year, you know.
Lead better this year. That tells me.
Shot at Trevor?
Oh, well.
Shot at Trevor?
No, specifically, that tells me they've had a conversation about critical feedback on Trevor's leadership from last year. Now, that's not to say that Trevor did something wrong and that cost him the season, but I imagine when you hear this comment from Doug.
Healthy this year, to lead better this year.
He's referencing, I imagine, speculating, a conversation they might have had about ways they could have done things differently, ways Trevor specifically could have done things differently with his teammates that would have made him a better leader.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And so interesting, I think, for Doug to call that out in a roundabout way.
You know, and maybe demand more this year.
That's part, I think, of what he's talking about. And you did see a little bit of that last year. I'll tell you, the most annoyed I ever saw Trevor, you saw last year. As a matter of fact, some of it was due to injury when he was getting annoyed. But you saw him start, you know, pointing at people, moving them around and stuff like that. And I'm not just taking a shot at Calvin here. I know that's what you're thinking.
You are.
I'm not.
Absolutely
I know that's what. No, you saw it with Parker Washington when he was filling in with Christian Kirk for Christian Kirk. You saw it a couple of times with a few different guys. And so, fine. But, you know, better leader, I think, is what is on tap for Trevor based on some of those conversations.
Those are all positive traits that can come out of something, you know, as negative as the end of the year last year.
So there are lessons to be learned from last year. I'm with him on that. Is it serving as a chip on the shoulder? I sure hope so. I was once told using things like that, having a chip on your shoulder, what's the word I'm looking for? Holding a grudge is toxic behavior. Is bad for you. I'm sitting here going, if it serves as motivation, how bad could it be? And maybe it leads to a little more unhappiness, and that's why they're saying it's bad for you, so I get that. Why be negative when you can be positive? But it's just kind of, I think, easier to coalesce around us against them than it is to coalesce around, I just want to be good.
Whoa, he used it twice, like as if I know what that means. Coalesce.
You don't know the word coalesce.
Is that like a mineral? What is that?
Before I look it up, I'm going to guess it means to like gel around, to glue around, to congeal around something.
Congeal.
Coalesce.
Okay, this rabbit hole goes.
According to Google, come together to form one mass or whole, to combine elements.
Coalesce. C-O-A-L-E-S-S. Coalesce.
No. C-O-A-L-E-S-C-E.
Oh, okay. English language.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a college word there.
Okay, English
I apologize,
language.
Brian. I'll try and dumb it down for you a little bit.
Coalesce. A little bit. A lot of bit. Okay?
Got
Mr.
it.
Coalesce.
Got it.
No, that's great, though. Good
I did
point.
spend money on college. I should at least use it for something. I can't just do this for a living and completely waste the money I spent in college.
Okay.
They asked him about Evan Ingram next, Brian. This is an interesting question. You don't really hear too many questions about Evan Ingram.
At all.
Evan Ingram's kind of a set it and forget it kind of player.
Hey, after the season he just had, yeah.
You just like give him a jersey and go, okay, now do your thing. And Evan Ingram goes out there and breaks his own record every year. That's basically what he does now. But they asked him, how much has Evan Ingram grown during his time in Jacksonville? His 3 years in Jacksonville, essentially. Here's what Doug had to say.
It just continues to improve, just understanding defense, understanding our system, how he and Trevor are on the same page, and
doesn't sound like an answer tailor-made for that question. It just kind of sounds like he's running off the Evan Ingram file.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, Evan Ingram. Okay, here's what I think about Evan.
Evan's done a nice job just leading his room, him and Luke both. I mean, these are the two veteran guys in there, but
this is an interesting new tidbit that we're hearing. So not only is Evan Ingram leading that room, but Luke Farrell takes a pretty active role, it sounds like, in helping to lead that room as well. An interesting dynamic that could play out is how that's affected by one young Brenton Strange, who's essentially gunning for Farrell's position.
He is on the team. That's right.
Evan was a great addition for us, 3 years ago, and continues to, really impress and really, he's another one of those guys that's taken more of that vocal stance, I think, especially with the offense,
Our water is wet. The sun is bright.
And he's also somebody that backs it up on the field. So he's done a nice job, continues to, lead by example, obviously. And again, he's not always the vocal guy, but when he needs to, he will.
The antithesis, that word, Brian? The antithesis of a vocal guy. Like, I look at Evan, I do not think vocal leader at all. I don't think vocal leader. I don't think vocal teammate. This is a quiet, reserved, even-keeled fella.
Antithesis. Antithesis. Antithesis.
Antithezis. Nicely done. Nicely done.
What's it mean again?
Okay.
The opposite. Now
It's
I'm like, sounded it out.
Look, I'm here to help. That's all.
Okay.
I mean, Evan Ingram, not vocal. I don't think anyone could call him such. Now, you see him get mad sometimes on the field.
Right, yeah.
You see a little eruption from Evan. You see him get hyped after a play every once in a while, occasionally a little fist pump or a shout. Let's bleep and go. Something like that. Fine. But no, I wouldn't categorize Evan as a vocal leader. Interesting question. Actually, we can get to that next segment. I want a little more time to parse that out. I like the question after it as well. So Doug talks a lot about the personality of the football team, who they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
You heard Trent talk about it. You heard Doug talk about it. They want to be physical. They've said it in the past, at least. They want to beat you up on defense. They want to beat you up on offense. They want to run it down your throat. They want to be able to move fast. They want to be fast and strong and big.
Yeah, they do.
And so the reporter asked, the reporter asked, do you have a sense of who you want to be? And do you have a sense of who you are now? Now, the reporter assumes in the question, it implies they are not one and the same right now. Who you want to be and who you are is not congruent, does not equate. If I'm Doug, and this is why I'm probably not, if I'm Doug, I'm looking at the reporter going, what do you mean? We are who we think we are. What are you talking about? But Doug took it a different place.
Yeah, I guess yes and no to answer the question. I mean,
do you have a sense of who you want to be and who you are?
It's early, no pads are on, and we're still working through. And this time of year, it's about the teaching, right?
Unacceptable to me as an answer so far, because you should know who you are and who you want to be, whether the pads are on or not.
Okay.
If we're sitting here a month out from training camp, or however long it is, a couple more weeks, I think it's about a month till the next OTAs, actually, but once these wrap up. If you're sitting here telling me on June 4th, you don't know who you want to be, how do you have the gig? How do you have the gig? How did you hire a defensive coordinator without knowing who you want to be? He knows who he wants to be. He has to. I refuse to believe he doesn't. Maybe he's saying, I don't know who these players are to a degree because I haven't seen them play each other, but that's not really what they're asking him right here. Like, what kind of team are you? What do you want to be, and what are you right now?
Oh, you sounded a bit frustrated with this response.
I don't really like it.
Okay.
As a person who is grown to enjoy watching the Jaguars, can't call myself a real fan yet. As a person who has grown to it, only because I'm still so bitter at the Jets being such a poverty franchise at every single turn.
I got you, man.
I can't be a fan of anybody else.
Yeah.
But as someone who has grown to enjoy watching the Jaguars, if I'm sitting here, if I was emotionally invested in this team, this would really annoy me. I want to hear vision and direction from the head coach. I want that vision and direction parroted by the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, all of the assistant coaches, and every player to a man on the 90. Forget the 53.
Wow. Even the ones you're going to cut, huh?
Everybody should know we should all be on the same page.
Okay.
And if you don't and they don't, get some signs up or something. Text everybody as soon as they wake up in the morning. Do something. Not know who you are. What are you talking about?
And really, I think establishing some philosophy, all three phases. As a coach, you look big picture and kind of have an idea of what it looks like and what it could look like. But I think that stuff evolves. It really evolves too as the season progresses too, right? As you get into September and October, you're never.
I think he's talking about a different thing here than what they asked. But I get what he's saying here. It's like you may think you're something at the beginning of the season. You may find something else is working out better for you, so you lean into that, and it's not necessarily what you planned on at the beginning of the season. So that evolution, I get that. I think that's happened to the team a few times. You should know who you want to be going into the season. How do you have an offseason plan? How do you pick up free agents and do the draft without knowing what the end goal is for the roster? I think he knows. I got to believe it. How is he an NFL coach saying that?
Whoa, okay. All right, man.
No?
The more you stew, the more worked up you get, man.
I mean, could you imagine your favorite team and the coach is like, I don't know yet. We'll figure it out when the season gets here. That's not a real answer.
I lived through the Urban Meyer year, 14 games. So, yeah,
I
can imagine.
You, as pathetic as Urban was, he never heard this come out of his mouth.
I don't know, Aaron. We'll have to cut this audio and see if we can get a montage of
Urban answers?
Of the Urban 13-game run.
Urban's greatest hits? I'm not even going to go there. I was going to go there, and then I was like, you know what? I do like my job, and I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Man, you got to tell me in the break.
Let's just say it had to do with Urban's greatest hits.
Lap sitting?
Maybe happening at a bar.
Hey.
It's the Aaron Schachter Show. 904-362-9901. More cuts from Doug on the way.
Hi, everyone. Terry Norvell here, along with Patrick Young from the Young and Norvell Show.
Our show is going great, and we are looking to grow the show with some new advertising partners.
If you're a business owner looking to market your product or service to a male, high-income, and college-educated audience, we are the show for you.
Just reach out for more information with a call or a text to 904-305-7526.
That's right. I'll get in touch with you, and we'll put together a budget-friendly marketing plan on our show exclusively for your business. Call or text me, Terry Norvell. That number again, 904-305-7526, and let's get you on our team.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Ammon here with Zero Res. After a long day's work, my family and I love to sit on our favorite sofa and recliners and watch a good TV show. It kind of helps us wind down for the day. We usually pass around some fresh popcorn too. That's why we need to bring home the Zero Res truck and get that furniture looking great again.
For the month of June, Zero Res is offering 25% off all upholstery cleaning. That's 25% off a sectional, 25% off a sofa, 25% off a love seat, and 25% off your favorite recliner. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. And we're Anajar and Levine. Experience the Anajar and Levine difference by calling us with any of your legal needs. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Snyderman, can you move things in your mind?
Nope.
Did you read our minds?
I got nothing. Were you thinking of nothing?
No. So, what makes you a superhero?
I can tell if you should repair or replace your air conditioning system.
If it's time to replace your air conditioning unit, Snyder can help. Get 0% interest if you pay in full within 60 months. Visit SnyderAC.com and get the details in a flash.
Flash? I think you mean Snyderman.
CAC 1813307.
Progressive asks, what do a middle school slumber party,
Let's stay up all night. Yeah!
a sleep-deprived girl, an early morning paper route, and a poorly thrown rolled-up newspaper have in common?
Hey, my window!
They can become a fast-breaking news story.
Sorry, Mr. Thompson.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Hey guys, we're the Twin Peaks Girls. We just love guys that listen to the Young and Norvell Show. Weekdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. A couple of minutes before we break for the Sports Center at 4 o'clock. Finally got my chips and cookies in, Brian. I know you were waiting with bated breath to figure that one out. Happy to please you as I mess with the wrapper. I know that annoyed you last time.
You're going to be all right.
I'm a little petty today. Don't mind me.
You're doing well.
A little spicy. The question I wanted to play in this segment that I almost got to last segment, but I wanted to unpack it a little bit, and now we're kind of out of time to unpack it, was a question about kickoffs. Pretty simple question. How confident are you that you'll know what kickoffs will look like next year? Look at Doug being real honest.
Still some mystery. We're still working out some things, and it's good this offseason to really, I think, vet out what we can and can't do, with angles and blocks and, there's different types of returns and all kinds of things that we're continuing to work through. I think it's going to take, preseason games to really fully understand, what it's about. But I think for us, it's been good because we get all our guys out there and get some stuff on tape that we can study and kind of work through some kinks that way.
I don't love that they're going to be learning these things on the fly as the season's going, but I do love the honesty and the transparency. And the reality is all 32 are in the same position. Everybody may have an idea of what they want to do and how they want to do it, but no one really knows till they're going to get out there on the field and try a couple of these plays out. A couple of changes to the kickoff. You got the lining up as far as where the ball goes on the 35 or the 20, depending on a regular kick or the safety. That stays the same. The big thing here is that all kicking team players, other than the kicker, will line up with 1 foot on the receiving team's 40. Kicker can't cross the 50 until the ball touches the ground. And then the 10 players on the kicking team who aren't the kicker can't move until the ball hits the ground either. No more fair catches. So guaranteed kick returns. And based on what Doug said, they're still working out the best ways to handle that on the offensive kicking side of the ball and the defensive kicking side of the ball. So special teams with a lot of work in front of them. I'm sure Heath and the boys can figure it out. But for them to admit that they're learning on the fly there, I give props to Doug for not being afraid to say something like that because it's accurate. And 31 other teams are in the same boat as him. We'll be back in a couple of minutes after the 4 o'clock Sports Center on the Aaron Schachter Show. It's ESPN 690. Give us a call to join the show, 904-362-9901.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Florida license D056341.
On Guarding Your Nest Egg Radio, Mike Lester, founder of Talon Wealth, focuses on a key question many share. Do I have enough to retire?
For starters, we'll do the math for you. But to me, it's really more about lifestyle. I want to find out what's important to you. I want to find out what your expenses are. And then I'm going to give you a realistic expectation moving forward of how your money needs to be invested to accomplish your goals in retirement.
Get to know Mike at guardingyournestegg.com.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Oh, can I buy a vowel?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Oh, can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Spring has sprung, and tax return season is here. Now's the time to beautify your home by replacing your old windows with new energy-efficient, easy-to-clean windows from American Window Products. Keep the summer heat out with special glass packages, including low E3 and argon gas. American Window Products only uses the highest quality products and professionally trained employees to install. Call now to find out why they were voted the #1 window company in Jacksonville. 731-2247 for a free estimate, or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Can you fly, Snyder-Man?
I wish.
Do you have super strength?
Above average for my age.
X-ray vision?
Nah.
Then what makes you a superhero?
Our AC is out.
Duty calls, kids.
Snyder-Man saves the day with affordable preventative care plans that keep systems operating at peak efficiency all year long. Get your preferred customer plan at SnyderAC.com today.
You're my hero, Snyder-Man.
CAC 1813307.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go! Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Live from the Anajar and Levine studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733. I'm Christine Lisi. A lifetime suspension from Major League Baseball for Padres infielder Tucupita Marcano for betting on the sport. Placed bets on games in 2022 and 2023 when he was with the Pirates organization. While Commissioner Rob Manfred's got concerns with gambling, they're not enough to end baseball's partnerships with gambling operations and the money made from them. ESPN MLB insider Jeff Passan.
To me, if you're really that concerned, if this is a top priority of yours, then you're going to do everything you can, including getting rid of partnerships with these companies. But the league has shown no inclination to do that, and they're happy to throw the players under the bus. And I understand that because the players have free will.
Jeff Passan on Freddie and Harry. San Francisco's Christian McCaffrey has again reset the NFL running back market, signed a 2-year extension. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports averaging $19 million a year. Receiver Brandon Ayuk seeking an extension, absent from the start of mandatory minicamp today. Receiver CeeDee Lamb, a no-show for the start of Cowboys minicamp. He's looking for an extension as well.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Wednesday as minicamps continue. I'll give you my biggest storylines that I'm paying attention to. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jax Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Emsella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has some state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jax Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Oh, can I buy a vowel?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Oh, can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
To the Aaron Schachter Show, ESPN 690 with you guys up until 5 p.m. I am Aaron Schachter, Brian Middleton, along with me, super producer extraordinaire. Just make sure those hotkeys are up, my friend. Lots of NFL news happening today. Not much of it has to do with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but still, it is NFL news. We did talk about C.J. Stroud's top 5 current quarterback list, which was an abomination. We don't have to dive back into that. But man, talk about putting yourself over. Talk about making yourself look like a fool while putting yourself over. Unreal. I do want to start here with a Jaguars rumor. A little piece of speculatory info. You may remember last offseason, Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, was a hot commodity. Everybody wanted to interview Ben Johnson, as if hiring Ben Johnson meant that you also hired Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jared Goff, and the best offensive line in football. But so be it. Ben Johnson, hot ticket. He had multiple opportunities. There were 8 openings. I think he had options to interview at all 8. Could have taken his pick. Instead, he decides to go back to Detroit. And everyone was kind of curious about it. And what we heard out of Detroit was Ben said he liked what he had. He wanted to take more time to learn. That sounded a little bit fishy to me, if I'm being honest. I mean, who makes that decision? No, thank you. I don't want to be a head coach of a major NFL franchise. I'd much rather be an offensive coordinator for another year. Now, it's one thing to not like your options. And Carolina doesn't necessarily look appetizing to an up-and-coming, hot-to-trot OC. I get that part. But for him to pretend like there was more to be done in Detroit for him, it's like a weak answer. But Ben has clarified, and the clarification is somewhat interesting. Here's what Ben Johnson had to say at a press conference the other day.
Something that really resonates with me is, 8 openings this past year. What would you set the over-under in 3 years? How many still have jobs? I'd put the over-under at 4.5. I would say there's a good chance 5 of them are out of jobs in 3 years. You know? And so when I look at it from that perspective, if I get the opportunity to go down that road, it's about how do I get to that second contract? How do I set myself up that the stars need to align? I'm not going to do it just to do it. I love what I'm doing right now. Love it. I love where I'm at. My family loves where we're at. Love the people that we're doing it with. And so I'm not willing to go down the other path yet unless I feel really good about how it's going to unfold.
A couple of things he said there that I thought were interesting. Number one, he said that there were 8 openings, which was accurate. 8 head coach openings. He gave the over-under for head coaches who were hired this cycle who will still be there in 3 years. He put that at 4.5. I actually think that he believes it's less based on his behavior. But the New England Patriots, Las Vegas Raiders, Tennessee Titans, LA Chargers, Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks, and Washington Commanders. 4 or 5 of those teams, according to Ben Johnson at this press conference, will have moved on from the head coach they just hired within 3 years. Dan Quinn at Washington. That's certainly a possibility. Really all depends on Jaden Daniels, how that works out. If there's a stutter there, the team resets. You got new ownership there. You don't really know what you're in for. I get Ben being a little scared of them. Seattle Seahawks, normally a pretty trusty franchise. Maybe he didn't like how they were set up, but Jackson Smith and Jigba, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you got Geno, but they did just pick up Sam Howell in the offseason. Tell me Ben Johnson can't do nothing with Sam Howell? That might have been one of the more attractive jobs. Mike McDonald ended up taking it. Atlanta Falcons, they hired Raheem Morris. Atlanta Falcons are going to be just fine in 3 years.
Yeah.
They drafted Michael Penix.
Well, yeah.
Bijan Robinson, Drake London. Pitts. They got a great offensive line, decent defense. Like, that team is fine. I would put them in the category that is not in the 4.5.
Okay.
The Panthers.
1.5. Half.
Woo.
6 games.
This is all about the owner, too. Like, the Panthers, you can't trust this guy. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing, what the plan is. Can't
Agreed.
trust it. And by the way, on a little tangent on the Panthers, they unveiled their latest plans. They asked Carolina for $650 million.
Yeah.
The city was like, nah.
Charlotte started giggling.
Nah, not going to happen,
Yeah.
Bubba. Figure it out, Tepper. Serves him right. Chargers ended up hiring Jim Harbaugh.
Great move.
I'm fairly convinced, and I think a lot of other people are too, if there was no Jim Harbaugh, Ben Johnson would be the head coach of the Chargers.
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
A fairly steady ownership group. Granted, they're known for being chiselers and cheap. But still, it's a group that doesn't go around firing people after a season like you saw over there in Carolina. The Titans, a lot of good things are being said about Brian Callahan. Unfortunately for Brian, the most common good thing being said about Brian Callahan right now is the fact that he hired his father to teach the offensive line. It's like, all right, well, if that's the thing, maybe we got a little more road to hoe. I believe the Titans, as far as Ben Johnson is concerned, is in the wrong part of this equation. The Raiders. I love Antonio Pierce. I love that the Raiders hired Antonio Pierce. But the sad reality is they didn't go out and get a quarterback. They drafted a tight end. They've got issues on the defensive side of the ball as well. And unless Mark Davis is more patient than he's ever been, or we've ever assumed he was, chances are the Raiders are on the wrong side of that equation. The Patriots. Another guy, Jared Mayo, I like him. I don't think he's there in 3 years. I think that team is destined for a couple of really, really rough roster years. Especially if Drake May doesn't work out. And we all know Merrill Hodge told Jared Mayo, Drake May will get you fired. May see that happen.
Did you ever hotkey that?
I did not.
Man.
It'll get there.
Yeah.
Here's more from Ben.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to its ownership, its staff, its my vision of how I can make it work with how I know I am. Like, part of me, too. I love play calling. And so I would, if I took a head coaching job, I would want to be a play calling head coach.
Is this his version of it's not you, it's me? Because this isn't going to work out, but it's not you, it's me. Don't be upset, Mr. Tepper. It's not you, it's me. I like calling plays. So this isn't going to work out. I feel fairly certain the Patriots, the Panthers, the Titans, the Falcons. I feel fairly confident all those teams would have let him call plays. I really don't think that's the thing.
Well, there's a limit on how much time there is during a week. And so what's it going to look like Monday through Sunday in that regard? And just want to make sure everything's nailed down. And listen, there's an adjustment period for every person that takes that job. They're learning on the fly.
And by the way, if you want to be a play calling coach, there's a role for that. It's called offensive coordinator. You don't have to be a head coach. You only think you have to be a head coach because everyone on national media told you were going to be a head coach. But Ben Johnson, if the spot for you is OC, I'm sure Detroit would love to have you for the rest of their careers.
But I think the more that you have set, and feel good about, that gives you the best chance. I was actually talking with someone the other day about this. Man, the longer you're in the coordinator chair, it does nothing but help you and prepare you more for the next step if it ever comes down the pipe. So personally, I don't feel like I'm hurting my opportunities or my abilities to be a head coach in the future. And I love what I'm doing right now.
Ask Eric Bieniemy how that works out for you.
Oh, boy.
Just saying. Eric Bieniemy was the hot to trot offensive coordinator candidate for like 3 off seasons in a row.
Okay. Yeah.
Ends up staying with Andy Reid because that's the better option out of some of these teams that are out there. And then it came back to bite him. No, you don't think so?
I don't know if it's as cut and dry as that, but yes to what you just said. Yes to what you just said. That is, when you get from point A to point Z, that's what happened. That was the result.
Well, if it's not as cut and dry as that, then what is it?
I mean, again, context. I don't know. Is he interviewing well, or is it that kind of groupthink because it didn't happen after he's interviewed a couple of times and maybe he's turned down some opportunities and maybe the opportunities turned him down and people started getting together and then it became this big thing that people noticed every offseason. So, I don't know if...
well, you're now making my point. Ben Johnson's like, the longer you stay an offensive coordinator, the easier it is to be a head coach. And I'm like, that's not necessarily the deal.
I don't think that he's wrong either. I mean, you're one step up from being the head coach. You're seeing at least how that head coach is handling things, and I'm sure you have other experience being maybe not a coordinator, but maybe being an assistant of some sort in some other department, and you can see how the head coach is handling things. I think you do grow in that position. It's like a manager in training type deal. But, again, are you interviewing well? What are the other circumstances surrounding that for your opportunities to come to you, year in and year out? So I don't know. But Eric Bieniemy, you're right. Maybe you strike while the iron is hot years ago and it happens for you, but he had been interviewing for years and it hasn't been happening for him. So maybe there's other things going on that, Ben Johnson won't have to experience because maybe he'll interview better or maybe something else will work in his favor.
Interesting theory. Bieniemy can't interview.
I don't know. I'm throwing stuff out there. I mean, I don't know everything it takes for that process to be considered, worthy of a head coaching position.
The speculation on Ben Johnson is that he's waiting for one of two teams.
Okay.
Because he's looking for a patient owner and a good young quarterback he can mold in his offense.
Okay.
The first rumored team he is waiting on is Dallas. And the theory goes he thought the Dallas job would be open this offseason. And it wasn't. You remember, McCarthy's job was on the line. Jerry Jones even said it.
Yeah.
They asked him about Mike McCarthy's future. Jerry Jones at the end of the season was like, we'll see how the playoffs go. Well, we saw.
All talk.
I think Ben Johnson thought he was getting that Dallas gig.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good gig to have, despite all the contract issues coming out of that team right now.
Okay.
The other team.
Who's the good young quarterback at Dallas?
Well, Dak Prescott.
Oh, I thought you were trying to Trey Lance or something. You sure? We talking about Dak Prescott?
I'm talking about a guy who was in the MVP conversation for 14 weeks out of an 18-week season.
Oh, great. Good for him. This Dak Prescott, okay. And who's the other choice that you think Ben Johnson's waiting on?
The speculation about the other team Ben Johnson was waiting on was Jacksonville. Patient owner, great young quarterback he can mold.
What?
Oh.
So a lot of people, including our friend Carlos Sanchez over at the Black and Teal, shout out to Carlos, a lot of people think that Ben could be hired as an offensive coordinator if Press doesn't work out. I'm telling you, I don't see it. Why? Why leave Detroit at that point? You're further along. No offense to Jags fans. But they are. They almost made the Super Bowl last year. The offensive line is in much better shape. You got a ridiculous rookie running back last year. You just touched the surface with what he could do. You've got a top 3, top 4 wide receiver.
You got Jameson Williams out there. We don't even know. We think. Maybe. One day.
I don't even want to talk about Jameson Williams.
He starts betting. Yeah.
You had the find of the draft last year in Sam Laporta. And the defense is on the up. Like, why leave Detroit for a similar, yet not as far along team like Jacksonville? I don't see it. I do see any potential NFL head coach loving working for Shad Khan. Because Shad is the guy who you will never have on the other end of the phone at 3 a.m. going, this isn't going to work out for us, guy. That's never going to be Shad.
At 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
Is that when they're doing it?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, he's not one of these guys where you lose the game Sunday and you get a call Monday morning and he's like, nah, we're not going to do this.
Oh.
He's not that guy. Now, give me 3 losing seasons. And Shad may give you the call.
Finally.
To this day.
Finally, right? That kind of energy.
Maybe during the second losing season, you get a butt dial from the Khans on the yacht. And he's like, whoops, sorry, my bad.
Oh.
You get all scared because you're like, oh, the boss is calling. This is probably it.
You're like, nah, we're on vacation.
Nope,
Sorry.
just on vacation.
Hey, man.
Don't worry about it.
You enjoy yourself.
Hey, you want to take the helicopter out here? Fine. If it was Tepper, the helicopter would be rigged with some explosives or something. To this day! David Tepper. What is he doing?
I know.
He's trying to turn that franchise into the Jets.
Yeah.
How can you be a
trying.
Carolina Panthers fan
It's a tough
and not
go.
want to abandon this guy?
I tell my boy Jay Bowes, you know Jay Bowes in the building. He's
Sure.
also a Carolina Panthers fan.
Is he?
It's a hard road to hoe. Or is it field to hoe? Because you don't really hoe roads. Toe. A hard road to toe?
I think it's road to hoe.
Road to hoe. What does that even mean? But it's a hard one right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta show up week in and week out and say, you know what? I like the Carolina Panthers. I like the Carolina Panthers. And
be one of 3 people to say it.
And then I'm like, hey, you know what? I won't say that on air. But I tell you what, man, it's tough. And this is about as low as you can go. I mean, Carolina's had some terrible seasons beforehand, like 1-win seasons type deal. So, like, it's not the very lowest, but it's about as low as we've been as a whole franchise. Anyway, yeah, the owner, after throwing drinks on people, I wonder what happened with that. Did he ever get sued for that? Did he ever settle out of court with that?
Who knows? I'm sure he settled if they brought suit to him.
But, yeah, he wouldn't. He would definitely call you up at 3 a.m.
To this day!
Be like, hey, man, you out of here. And I got a drink I'm going to throw on you when I see you next time, too.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Hey, can you bring your playbook back to the stadium?
Yeah.
I've got this seltzer I need to throw at you.
I'm angry.
Tepper. But, yeah, I don't see Ben Johnson coming to Jacksonville. Now, if for some reason it doesn't work out and Doug's gone at the end of the year, that's a different conversation.
Whoa, Aaron Schachter.
I'm not, but no.
Chill out, man. Golly, man.
Stop it. Don't be a jerk.
Breaking news?
I'm not advocating for this whatsoever. I'm just saying, should something happen? Let's say Andy Reid calls up Doug. He's like, hey, man, I'm going to leave Kansas City at the end of the year. Do you want the gig? Like, who knows? Should something happen, then you're talking Ben Johnson as a possibility because I think he would like the setup. I think he would like the front office. I think he would like the ownership and the quarterback and the tools already on the team. But to bring him in as an OC, it's just a never going to happen kind of thing. Never going to happen. Mark my words. I'm putting all the money on it. That's what I'm doing.
Standing in the gap for Press
Let's
Taylor.
go Press Taylor. You got this, bud.
Wow.
Now we talking.
Yeah. Press Taylor.
You got this, Press. Sierra Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. Talking anything you want about the Jaguars today. We'll come back with some other NFL news. A running back got paid. What? Can't believe it. Sierra Schachter Show, ESPN 690. Yes?
Did you do the sound?
I did this. I couldn't reach my hotkey. Had I been able to reach it, I would have.
Oh boy.
What?
Yeah, I was
But
like,
what? I couldn't reach it. We'll be back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. Partly sunny today. An isolated brief shower will be possible, but again, mostly dry. A high in the upper 80s, a little bit cooler at the beaches. Partly cloudy tonight, dropping to near 70, and partly sunny for tomorrow. There is a little better chance for at least a few afternoon thunderstorms to develop. Not everywhere, but at least some rain. A high near 90 degrees. And Thursday, partly sunny, an isolated afternoon storm, and heating up to near 95. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. 0% financing for 5 years is back for a limited time at Beards Diamonds.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jack's Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Emsella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jack's Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Oh, can I buy a valve?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Oh, can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns, and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Why Arlington Toyota? How about a huge selection of new vehicles in stock, on the ground, in one location? And every new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty, unlimited time and miles. 60-day exchange program, you heard right, 60 days to love your new purchase or exchange it for one you do. Plus, Arlington's credit helper to help you get financed. There's even complimentary car wash with every service, and so much more. Shop ArlingtonToyota.com today.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, we're the Twin Peaks Girls. Come have lunch with us every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and listen to the Young and Nora Bell Show on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. That is the phone number. I'm Aaron Schachter, Brian Middleton behind the glass, producing his butt off. Ask this man to do so many things at the same time. It truly is majestic to watch him work. Don't shake your head at me, young man. How dare you? A couple of other news and notes happening around the NFL world. Trouble in Dallas. We were just talking about how Ben Johnson may have been waiting on that Dallas job. But had he known what was waiting in the wings, the issues, the contract problems, he might have thought twice about it. Not only have the negotiations not even begun with Dak Prescott, a lot of speculation there that they're ready to let him walk after the season. Not only have the negotiations not begun with Micah Parsons, a lot of speculation there that they would let him walk because of his antics. But CeeDee Lamb is still very serious about getting a new contract, and he has yet to do so. And so because of that, CeeDee Lamb is not in attendance for the first day of the Dallas Cowboys' mandatory minicamp. These are not voluntary workouts. These are the real deal.
Good for him.
A source told ESPN's Adam Schefter that Lamb is not expected to attend the 3-day minicamp. As a result, he's going to get a fine of $16,953 for missing the first day of camp. And if he doesn't report for the final 2 days, he could be fined more than $101,000 for the 3-day absence. You talk about an escalator. Holy jamoles.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Oh, my goodness. Maybe they'll use some of that CeeDee Lamb fine to pay off the Dak Prescott contract. Cowboys have the discretion as to whether to enforce the fine when he reports. You wonder if they'll actually do it, if they're working on the deal. Like if the deal is in progress and CeeDee's just like, I'm not going to show up without the guarantees, then maybe they let him slide. But if they're not there yet, he's just not showing up, they should take that money. The Cowboys have said they want to sign CeeDee Lamb to a contract extension. The Pro Bowler who set team records for catches at 135 last year, yards, 1,749 last year. He said he wants to remain with the Cowboys. He did not take part in the voluntary portion of the offseason program. And like I said, now he's missing the first day of mandatory programming. But he has had throwing sessions with Dak Prescott in the offseason. And I did make this point yesterday, and I do have to wonder out loud whether the point returns and is valid for this conversation. I know that Dallas is threatening to let Dak walk, but I only think that's the case because they're talking about really big numbers there. And I know the rumor is that Dallas might be ready to let Micah Parsons walk, but I don't believe that for a half second.
Yeah.
This guy will get paid. And maybe Jerry Jones has to play hardball here like he played with Zach Martin last year. But Micah Parsons is going to get paid. And he's probably going to get paid more than $30 million a year. It's going to be in that neighborhood. If Bosa's getting 34, Parsons going to get somewhere between 28 and 34.
Yeah.
I buy that.
Yeah.
Those guys are hard to replace.
Easily.
CeeDee Lamb, who you know wants to be in the 30-plus range as a wide receiver, I'm looking at Dallas go, if you've got to let one out of the three walk, I know, Brian, you want to let Dak Prescott walk, but I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb going, you just find another one in the draft. That's how wide receivers are coming these days. Market's been flooded.
Wide receivers that can come in and give you 135 catches.
Listen, it was the only guy Dak was throwing to.
Okay.
It was the only guy Dak was throwing. Do you think CeeDee Lamb has 135 catches, 1,700 yards on the Falcons last year when Desmond Ridder is throwing the ball?
I think that he probably gets more catches than who was their number one, Drake London?
I imagine.
I bet you he gets more catches than what Drake London had. That's one. And two.
Well, I'm not debating who's a better receiver. I'm sitting here going, you can't tell me CeeDee Lamb is impressive for 135, 1749 without telling me that Dak was impressive.
No, because I can say that one definitely makes the other. You telling me if CeeDee Lamb is not on the Cowboys and they got your stock wide receiver that floods the market apparently, you're telling me that Dak has the numbers he had last season, and he's in the MVP conversation for 14 out of the 17 weeks?
Well, last season, as far as regular seasons go, was one of Dak's best. So I'm not just sitting here saying he does that in his sleep. But you are talking about a guy who has previously been considered an MVP in this league. You are talking about a guy who routinely puts up big numbers.
Okay, we're going to we'll stop.
You are
blinded.
Stop right here.
We'll stop right here.
Absolutely blinded by this Dak Prescott hatred.
It's not hatred. I am fine with, if you're talking about, let's pay this man because we're not worried about the Super Bowl. We're not worried about a championship. We're worried about winning 11, 12 games in the regular season, which the Dallas Cowboys in the past few of seasons tend to do. We're worried about that and maybe having a home playoff game and maybe winning one playoff game in this, when the playoffs hit. That's what we're worried about. That's a success of a season for us. Then keep Dak Prescott. My issue is now we've seen the sample size. You're talking about C.J. Stroud. We need to see more. We've seen the sample size of Dak Prescott, no matter the coach. And we've seen the sample size of Mike McCarthy with Dak Prescott. Why are either one of them still here? Why are we talking about all this money? And when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, we've seen the sample size now. And you're asking us, okay, what can you do once you're talking about flooding the market with more wide receivers? Are you going to find somebody who can get on the field with Dak Prescott and give you those numbers right there out in the draft?
He's had them.
And I say, no, you can't. You may find someone that's good. You probably can.
No, he had them. In 2019, Dak had those numbers without CeeDee Lamb.
Somewhat. So he had a receiver that
He had
caught
Amari
135
Cooper.
catches.
He had Amari Cooper with
Exactly.
at 119 targets, less targets than Lamb had catches. So that's one thing you got to consider right there.
Okay.
But 119 targets at 1,100 yards. Then he looks at Michael Gallup and goes for another 1,100 yards.
Okay.
Then he had Randall Cobb at 57 years old go for 828 yards.
Okay.
It's not like Dak is some slouch on the couch.
So none of those were 1,700 yards, and none of those were 135, regardless of the targets. And if someone's targeting me a whole bunch, you know I'm getting the ball. So now I'm getting your best guy. I'm probably getting double covered. I'm proving my point.
You're getting double covered in the slot. It's not like you're getting double covered downfield by two corners or a corner and a safety.
Aaron, it's tough either way, 2-on-1. I'm just that good. Come on, man. If I'm CeeDee Lamb, you're doggone right I'm not showing up. Give me my money.
I don't have a problem with CeeDee not showing up.
I thought that's what we were talking about.
That is what he's talking about. I don't have a problem with him. What I'm saying is if Dallas has to move on from one of the three, CeeDee's the easiest to replace. And maybe you don't get a receiver at his level like you're talking about. 135, that doesn't happen every year for anybody, much less a CeeDee Lamb. 135 is a lot. That being said, easier to find an elite wide receiver in the draft than it is to find a pass rusher that works out, as we see so many of them flop, or a quarterback for that matter.
But what does work out? That's going to be.
Well, you know what that means.
me.
You don't have to play like semantics with a workout means be good on the team, help you to the playoffs and more.
Nah, the and more part. We know that's not going to happen with this equation now. We know it's not going to happen with Dak in the Cowboys jersey. We know that. It's been more than Tony Romo. He kicked Tony Romo out that position 85 years ago. We've seen more than enough. It's fine if it doesn't work out there.
So you're ready for Trey Lance? You're ready for Trey Lance?
I'm ready not to pay him close to $60 million to not make any noise in the playoffs again. If I'm a Cowboys fan,
I don't think Dak is worth 60, but that's what he's scheduled to make.
Exactly.
That's what he's scheduled to make if they don't rip up the deal.
I'm not pushing on that. I'm not pushing on the fact that Dak is a great regular season quarterback or a regular season MVP. If I'm trying to win a championship, if I'm Jerry Jones and I got 7 more minutes to live and I want to see the Cowboys go back to the Super Bowl, I want to just see them get back to the Super Bowl. I know it's not going to be a Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott combo. I know that. So why am I going to waste more money paying this dude to win 12 games in the regular season in order to lose in the playoffs again.
How many targets do you think CeeDee Lamb had?
Probably 322.
I mean, it might as well have been. What if I told you only 2 people on the Cowboys had over 100 targets? Jake Ferguson was the other one at 102 targets, the tight end. CeeDee Lamb had 181 targets. 181 targets.
And your point being, I just want to make sure I understand
it
your
was
point.
the only guy he threw to.
Because he's the best guy to throw to.
Do you think CeeDee Lamb is the best wide receiver in the NFL?
I think he is far and away the best wide receiver on the Dallas Cowboys.
Not what I asked you.
And that's why.
Do you think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL?
Jefferson. I think it's Justin Jefferson.
If you had to give it a number, wide receiver what?
Give me a second.
You don't have to be exact. Give me a neighborhood. 4, 5, or 10?
Probably 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
I got to sit down and think about it. Probably 3 to 5.
So I tell you what, you want to look at Miami, Tyreek Hill did not have 100 and whatever that number was, 181 targets. Jalen Waddle got a ton of targets. Those dudes showed improved. Jamar Chase is not getting 180 targets.
But this is so great, and you know, if you do this just for the sake of argument, it's even good for that. The fact that you're saying it in a way, and you don't ultimately mean this like 100%, but the way that you're saying it in a way where it's almost detracting from CeeDee Lamb's number, I'm saying, okay, you don't think that these guys are scouting it out and be like, well, we know where Dak absolutely wants to go, so we're going to make sure that we're going to have this covered, and they can't cover it anyway.
I think when Dak is thrown to CeeDee Lamb 15 times in a game by the third quarter, the defense is like, you can't possibly be going back there now. Can't possibly be going back.
No way. That's not what they're saying. They're like, hey, we're trying to do everything in our power to stop it, and we can't because he's that good. Y'all should pay that man, because if y'all don't, when free agency comes, we're going to try to pay that man.
He's earned the contract. He has absolutely earned the contract. He's a great wide receiver, right? Top 5 in the NFL.
We got him top 5, okay.
Top 5 in the NFL wide receiver. I don't know that he's 3 or 4. I would put I would put Justin Jefferson in front of him, Jamar Chase in front of him, Amon-Ra St. Brown in front of him. Those are no doubt about it for me. I would put A.J. Brown in front of him.
You would put A.J. Brown in front of him?
I would put A.J. Brown and Tyreek Hill in front of him. I would put...
okay.
I would put...
I can hear you on Tyreek.
Not last year, but 2 years ago, the almost 2,000 yards Cooper Kupp in front of him.
People forget about that. Cooper really was like, hey, I'm going for this number 1 spot. Like 2 years ago, like before Jetta's really, I mean, he wasn't Jettas yet. Yeah, you know what? But with Cooper Kupp's health, I don't know. I will say that A.J. Brown,
he's in the neighborhood.
The Amon-Ra St. Brown one, you're gonna have to walk me through that. But as far as Tyreek Hill, okay, I can give you that one.
But to the point I'm making, CeeDee Lamb has earned the money. I just think if Dallas has to make the decision on who to replace, to me, replacing CeeDee Lamb is going to be much easier of a process than replacing Micah Parsons or replacing Dak Prescott, for sure. Another guy who's not attending OTAs for his team, Haason Reddick. This was interesting because he just got traded to this team. He's on the Jets now. So the Jets let go of Bryce Huff on the defensive line. They end up picking up Haason Reddick, who's one of the best pass rushers in the league from his position. But Haason wants a new deal right now. He's scheduled to make a non-guaranteed $14.5 million. He thinks he should be having more money coming his way, including guarantees. I don't think the Jets are hot to trot on that one. We'll see how that one develops.
Okay.
And then Christian McCaffrey got a new deal.
Yeah, he did.
The dude was the only dude getting paid at running back, essentially.
Yeah.
And then he did it again.
Yeah.
He signs a 4-year deal, which is technically like a 2-year, $18 million deal. Per a league source, 49ers and McCaffrey have reached an agreement on a 2-year extension. He's now under contract for the next 4. The extension has a new money average of $19 million a year. McCaffrey's still only 28. Much younger than I thought. Those injuries kind of put the years of wear and tear on you, don't they?
Yeah.
Now, originally, he signed that 4-year deal with the Panthers for $64 million. That was early 2020. He then gets traded to the Niners. They didn't touch the deal because it was so early on. But he was getting paid. People think of him as an injury case. I think I had this conversation with you before. It was only really 1 year with substantial. I know he played through injury. I know. He didn't play up to the McCaffrey level because of an injury the following year, but he didn't miss significant time because of it.
Yeah, he was the best option, but it was a detriment because you can't execute the way you want to.
You're right.
Aaron, I'm telling you,
You're right.
It's only a matter of time. I'm glad he got his money because it's only a matter of time that San Francisco feels the McCaffrey curse.
Yeah, I think you're wild for this.
What do you mean?
I think this dude is going to be fine the rest of his career.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Which,
what?
Because he's a running back is only going to be like 2 or 3 more years.
Oh, okay.
But he had more than 2,000 yards from scrimmage in 23,
Touché.
21 total touchdowns. How do you not pay this guy like a non-running back?
Okay.
Here's a guy getting 100 targets who's not a wide receiver. He became only the 3rd player in NFL history, joining Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig, to have 1,000 or more rushing yards and 1,000 or more receiving yards in the same season. I should know I lost a few parlays on those kind of bets in particular with Christian McCaffrey.
It's a crazy room to be in. Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig,
And
a
Christian
crazy
McCaffrey.
group to be a part of.
So shout out to Christian McCaffrey getting it done, getting those dollars, getting the bag. The question is, are other running backs going to get it? We saw Saquon do 12. We saw JT, I think, get 11.
Okay.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. Somewhere between like 8 and 11. You got Nick Chubb coming up, but it's an injury discussion.
Yeah.
It's hard to justify paying that dude top of the market when you're worrying about if his knee is going to fall off his leg at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I really think the next big running back contracts you're going to see are a couple of fellas named Bijan and Jameer.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, like who else is in the pike?
And like, okay.
Who else you loading up? Breece Hall, maybe.
These kids will be making NIL in middle school by the time the next big running back.
I mean, you don't think the Jaguars going out there paying Travis Etienne $10 million a year?
I mean,
I don't think that's Josh Jacobs can only make $5 million, $6 million.
We got a different culture over here. We take care of ours over here.
Do we?
It's not like the New York Jets over here.
Cool.
Your free agents just got there. You're treating them like crap.
I thought this was football. My bad.
I mean, we got a different culture down here in Duval.
Treating them like crap. They're asking them to come play. Say, we traded for you. Come to work.
But first, more cash money, please.
You watch. If they decide to fire Haason Reddick, he's going to hang out in the office for 9 hours and not leave. Oh, it's the wrong person. Sorry.
You can get me shot at around here. I don't know people. You think people cool, so you start making, I'm good on that, actually. I take that dinger back.
Yeah, you're the one who played it. Look,
You're the one that did the joke, though.
Sometimes you say things just
Well
to
done.
stir it up a little bit.
That's well done. 9 hours.
Even
9
if
hours. Can you imagine that?
Even if the audience doesn't know what you're stirring.
Can you imagine being expected to be there for 9
You
seconds?
got to imagine it. Just got to ask someone down the hall.
And they were just like, nah. All day, huh? Full day's work. No matter what.
Yeah. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. Having a little fun as we come to the close. Brian, me and you have been on the opposite sides of conversation all day.
You've been diabolical all day.
All day.
And I don't know what got into you.
We should do a next segment that brings us closer together. Or not.
That's the music. That's great. Look at you, man. You've been on one.
It's the Aaron Schachter Show, back in a couple of minutes on ESPN 690.
Let's face it, work sucks, but you do get a lunch break. That's where the Young and Norvell Show comes in weekdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690, featuring me, Terry Norvell, and former Gator basketball star and current SEC Network analyst Patrick Young. Let's face it, Hollywood has been fresh out of ideas for 25 years. So don't waste your valuable lunch break on the same old tired TV and movie shows. Tune in to the Young and Norvell Show, where we promise to make you laugh, think, get angry, but most important, you will have fun. It will quickly become your favorite part of the day. The Young and Norvell Show, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Ammon here with Zero Res. After a long day's work, my family and I love to sit on our favorite sofa and recliners and watch a good TV show. It kind of helps us wind down for the day. We usually pass around some fresh popcorn too. That's why we need to bring home the Zero Res truck and get that furniture looking great again.
For the month of June, Zero Res is offering 25% off all upholstery cleaning. That's 25% off a sectional, 25% off a sofa, 25% off a love seat, and 25% off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. Main office, Jacksonville.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jax Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Emsella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has some state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jax Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
Snyderman, can you move things in your mind?
Nope.
Did you read our minds?
I got nothing. Were you thinking of nothing?
No. So, what makes you a superhero?
I can tell if you should repair or replace your air conditioning system.
If it's time to replace your air conditioning unit, Snyder can help. Get 0% interest if you pay in full within 60 months. Visit SnyderAC.com and get the details in a flash.
Flash? I think you mean Snyderman.
CAC 1813307.
Is it time to replace those old fogging windows with new energy-efficient windows? American Window Products of Jacksonville has the right window product for every home, so you can beautify your home and save on your energy bills this summer. Request a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles. But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, you betrayed me. Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
ESPN 690 has a chance for you to win tickets to see the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp play at 121 Financial Ballpark. Register to win your tickets at ESPN690.com, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
Schachter. Ew!
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. About to wrap it up. Before we do, Brian, I wanted to talk about
Aaron Schachter.
Something that hit the news.
My boy.
Days ago. Deshaun Watson out here with a new back tattoo. And the note I wrote to you in the prep sheet was, Deshaun Watson's back tattoo is trying too hard. It is a giant mural across Deshaun Watson's back. It features his mom. It features his girlfriend, Jillian Nias.
Yeah, it does.
It features Martin Luther King Jr. wearing an I Have a Dream hat and saluting.
MLK, like, man, come on, man. Don't drag me into this.
You know what I mean?
Don't drag me into this.
It features Popeye.
No, it doesn't.
Along with MLK Jr.
Did I miss that?
You can't see it behind the watch and shoulder. I'm just reading the list off. It features an astronaut Not really sure why. Maybe that's what he wanted to be when he was a kid. Features a couple of names that I'm unfamiliar with. His hometown streets. And then 3 championship rings, one of which is for the NFL that he asked the artist to leave blank for when he finally wins a Super Bowl.
Interesting.
My first thought was this. If you're a guy that's been brought up on 26 charges of being a little bit inappropriate, a lot of bit inappropriate with neighborhood masseuse, maybe putting your girlfriend on a back tattoo isn't the smartest idea. Then again, she was with him through the whole thing. So Deshaun could possibly be thinking to himself, I got one that's going to stay with me no matter what.
No matter.
If she's not leaving after 26 women accuse me of SA, assault action, on the masseuse table, then she's not leaving for nothing.
Now we talking.
Not leaving for nothing. 9-hour tattoo. 9-hour tattoo. That is some serious tattoo business. I think Dak Prescott said he got put under for a tattoo session that long.
Just
you hate him so
that
much.
Boy had an anesthesiologist in for it. Man, if you don't get out my face, man. If you don't get out of my face.
What?
Hey, man, make sure you got the right count back from 100. Like, what? Boy, if you don't get this ink in this needle and shut up.
Listen, do you have any tattoos?
No, not
You don't seem
one.
like a tattoo guy.
No, it's too permanent.
I got a few. I got 3-ish of them. I think I got 3 tattoos.
Oh, man.
Well, because they happened at different sessions, but they're on the same arm, so it's kind of like one tattoo.
Okay.
But the biggest one was a 4.5-hour session. If someone would have said, hey, we'll put you to sleep and you could time travel through it, I would have done it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I don't care if someone's telling me I'm soft or whatever.
You soft.
Sitting in the chair for 4.5 hours. Anyone ever explain this to you? It's like having a bad sunburn and then someone scratching it with a needle for 4.5 hours.
Then don't get the tattoo.
No, but you want the tattoo.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Well, if you got the option, snooze through it. If you got the option, you take
That was
it.
one story he should have kept close to the vest. Because now I'm cooking every time I hear
didn't
the name Dak now.
Oh, that he got put under?
Hey, man.
This tattoo is wild.
We'll bill you insurance for this. Like, what? Getting a tattoo.
Martin Luther King Jr. saluting in the I Have a Dream hat.
All right, you know what?
Kind of makes it feel a little bit gross to me. But I get that Deshaun's just trying to pay tribute to people he loves. But he's got Popeye down there.
Someone asked
Next
Trevor
to
next time.
MLK.
Someone asked Trevor next time, what was Deshaun really like? Like, because this is too much. The past 3 years has been too much.
It's a lot.
From Deshaun.
It's a dope piece. Like, in terms of the art itself, it looks gorgeous. Like, he did a really great lifelike Jillian Nias. That's the girlfriend's name.
Yes,
By the way, if you do need a gallery of Jillian Nias, you may head over to TMZ.
Glory. Do you hear me?
Apparently, Brian is a big fan. Educationally speaking.
Yeah.
You're learning a lot
Research.
today. Yeah, learning a lot today. This has been the Aaron Schachter Show. We'll be back tomorrow, I believe, unless we take another month off. You know how it goes sometimes here. ESPN 690. Have a great night, guys.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust, buy a water filter, and don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone water systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single-source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Winter, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, or dial ** invest from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Oh, can I buy a vowel?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Oh, can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Howard works from home. I try to keep things professional. But stuff happens. Now Howard and his wife are working with Community First on a home equity loan to make renovations to his home with no closing costs and special low rates, so Howard can build the office of his dreams.
So live your best life.
With